I just, well, first of all, I'd like to say hello to everybody. Welcome to KjmO, JonnYMo Dark Night Radio. And this is a subject today discussing. It's not a very pleasant subject, but it's a reality in this country, in the United States. We have the death penalty still. And many years ago, I ran into Sister Helen Prejean at a symposium at the University of New Orleans. Sister Helen wrote the movie, or wrote the book called Dead Man Walking, and it was turned into a movie with Susan Sarandon. Tim Robbins directed it. But anyway, I had met her the night before. I was going on a tour with R.L. Burnside over to Europe, over the Midwest, and then over to Europe in 1985. And I was against the death penalty. I still am, in the way we carry it out anyway. I've gotten a little bit more cynical about it since then. I've known people, that have been murdered since that time. Actually, during a time where I was actually seeing somebody on death row at Angola prison in Louisiana. But anyway, so I met her, I signed some papers, and a few years later I got a letter to Holland, and it said, your pen pal on death row is Kelsey Ward. I didn't even know I'd signed that, but there it was. So I got a chance to write somebody on death row at Angola prison in Louisiana for a while. It was interesting. A really cool guy, but a killer for sure. Anyway, so I wrote a play. I wrote called sort of anti-death row plays, but one in particular about Thomas Lee Ward, based on him, was produced in California, in Hollywood. It's kind of funny, in Hollywood. We didn't have a lot of people come, but it got good reviews. That was cool in the papers. But anyway, one of the people that a person that came with his wife was a newspaper reporter, and he was seeing this guy he was visiting somebody himself on death row at San Quentin prison, a guy named Robert Alton Harris, who was convicted on a horrible crime. I mean, the guy I was seeing, he shot somebody who was married to his ex-wife. There's all kinds of crazy stuff about this person that I knew. I'm sure he could be very cold-blooded and a serious killer, but he wasn't a killer like this other guy, Robert Alton Harris, who was convicted of killing two kids, about 16 and 15 years old. I don't know why, but he did it exactly. Maybe I'll find out in this video I'm watching about it. But I remember, reading about it, not when it happened, but when I found out more about it. I'd seen this guy that was visiting him told me about it, and actually he killed these kids, and then he ate. They had lunch. They'd gone to a fast food restaurant, and after he killed them, he ate the rest of their lunch. I mean, talk about cold-blooded. That's the kind of thing that makes me wonder if the death penalty doesn't have its place. But anyway, he was convicted and sentenced to die, and so a few years later, this was in 1990, and my play was produced, and these people came to see it. But anyway, in 95, he was put to death in California, first person in 23 years. But I know for sure that in my life, there are a few times where I am positive if it wasn't for the grace of God, or whatever reasons, I wouldn't be making this broadcast on this Dark Night Radio, because I would be dead, way dead, because of people that were just cold-blooded killers. My one big situation was I was hitchhiking back with my friend, two people, a guy that was a couple years older than me at 19, I was 17. And we had a girl with us. She was maybe 16, 17, 18, I'm not sure. But somehow she wound up in Atlanta with my friends. We were from Northern Virginia, but we were going back and forth to Atlanta area, really Marietta, northwest of Atlanta. But anyway, so we were hitchhiking back home, and we were in South Carolina, and these 6 big, huge guys, called them rednecks, showed up and asked if we wanted to drink some beer and smoke some dope out in the woods. We said, oh, no, we're just heading our way up to Washington. Should have said Virginia, not Washington. But anyway, whatever. So they left, but then they came back. 3 of them came back to make room in the back seat for us or something. But they were serious. They said, get in the car. We mean it. And I'm sure had we gotten in that car, it would have been a one-way trip to hell. But we heard a car pull up behind us, and looked. It was a middle-aged lady or something, and another girl, a younger girl. It was it was incredible. They said later they had no idea that what was going on, of course, but for some odd reason they stopped to give us a ride. And had they not stopped, I don't know what would have happened, but I probably do know what would have happened. It would have been horrible. But anyway, they didn't get us, and that's very lucky. Very, very lucky. And those people that get stopped by anything, like violence in any kind of way, I mean, it sucks, What right do people have to harass other people and cause them harm? But that's not the way some people think, they just do what they do. They're like predatory animals, which these people were in South Carolina. And it's not the only time that I've escaped what I consider to be a certain death situation. But, it just makes me wonder, if there is a place for the death penalty in this country anymore, or if it's just, such a bizarre punishment, it shouldn't be allowed at all. I mean, I don't know. But I thought that for a while, I was absolutely against it. But now, the way it's carried out, I'm totally against the idea that people have to sit there for 10, 12 years and deal with this. That one hand, it gives them the right to appeals and stuff like that. On the other hand, they have to go through this whole process. I don't really feel sorry for them, but at the same time, there are people that occasionally, anyway, are innocent or doing different things. But I don't know. I don't know. It's really sad. That's what I do know. Well, I'll see y'all later.